Hey everyone. Justin, you're sporting a new look. It looks very French. Let me see who's on the call. Hi, Kim.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Excellent. We've got lots of good news to share today.
Oh, yay. You know, I love good news. Hi, Charlie.
Hey, Dory, how you doing?
Good. You're not in your usual setting.
No, I'm at home today, so
Oh, okay.
take a little breather.
Okay, gotcha.
But I wouldn't miss you guys.
There you go. Hi, Katie Staples. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Which Kelly is on the call? Unmute yourself and make it known who you are.
Hey, this is Nicole.
Oh, hey. Hi, Nicole.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
That's hilarious. Hi, Cinnamon. People have to unmute as I call on them. We've got one more minute and we're going to get started. If you have the ability to make your lovely face visible, that would be wonderful, even if you have a ball cap on, because it's easier for us to have a meeting like this and actually see people's faces as opposed to just seeing names. Very hard to talk to just a name. So if you can let us see you, that would be wonderful. We would appreciate it. All right, so I have 11:30 and it's Wednesday, so we're going to get going. I see Chris coming on and Dana coming on. Hi, all.
Hey, how are you, Dory? Can you hear me?
Hi, Al. How are you?
Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear us?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Dory. Good morning.
So let's go right to our vendor, Miss Kristen, since Al's here. We hope everybody is doing well on July 21st, 2020. Wow, the year is flying by, absolutely flying by. Al, welcome again. Thank you so much for being one of our wonderful inspector companies on our vendor program.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. You guys have been great. I really enjoyed the team meetings and just the culture and the different topics that you've been bringing. I really benefited a lot from being on your team meeting. So thank you.
Oh, great. That's awesome. Well, we do work really hard at bringing value.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. Just wanted to introduce myself and my company to those of you at Peachtree Road who haven't had the opportunity to work with us. My name is Al Wiseman. I'm with the Residential Inspector of America, one of your preferred vendors. And we are a full service home inspection company. And I took a few notes here, just some updates I wanted to give you is we've done over 5,000 inspections year to date. So I want you to know that the market is good. So we're in the middle of a COVID pandemic, but things are really growing for us. As a matter of fact, June last month, we had our best month in our company's 31-year history. We did over 1,065 home inspections. That was a 38% increase in Atlanta. So that's to let you know that the market is doing well. We are a lag indicator for you guys selling homes, doing the home inspection. So things are on the up and up. So far, last month in June, we did 52 inspections for your office, Peachtree Road. And so far, month to date, we've done 25 inspections for the agents in your office. So thank you so much for doing business with us. We appreciate the opportunity to work with your clients. We're continuing to offer value-added services. Last month, we did a 1-hour free motivational event with motivational speaker Nick Santonastasso. We had over 100 attendees. We're continuing to offer free CE classes. We're offering one called Managing Client Expectations Through the Home Inspection. That's a 3-hour free CE class. We've been offering it periodically. We do have one coming up on tomorrow from 1 to 4. And it's free, but you do have to register for that, however. And also next month, we're revamping our realtor safety class. So we're going to offer a free 3-hour realtor safety class, which we'll also let you know about. We've got a weekly newsletter that's going out to agents. Some of you may have gotten that. We're covering topics like is radon testing really needed? Why use a real estate agent? And that. So we continue to try to offer some value-added services for our agents who use us. But other than that, our company's been around for 31 years. So we've done over 100,000 inspections. A full-service company. We've got 30 inspectors on staff. Just waiting for your call. We got operations team set up to get you in and out easily and to get the reports the same day. And best of all, and finally, we give your buyers $25,000 in free warranties with each one of our inspections. So once again, thank you for your business. You guys are doing great out there. We appreciate having the opportunity to work with you, and we love being a vendor at Keller Williams Peachtree Road.
Al, thanks so much. I'm going to talk to you later about possibly bringing some of those classes to Peachtree Road.
We love to.
Yeah? Okay, I'll give you a call later on that. That'd be great.
Thank you, Dory.
Thank you for all you do. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All righty, Charlie, I saw you. Come on down.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here reporting
Hi.
from Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Okay, so we'll talk about surveys today. Not always required. A lot of people get them, and they cost about $400 or $500. So you're always gonna. I'm sure you have buyer clients that are interested in getting those. Couple things you have to think about that when one of your clients approaches you about whether or not they need one or what the value of getting one might be. So again, it usually costs about $500 for like a normal residential in-town lot. One thing you have to realize is that a lot of times you're not going to get that back during the due diligence period. So if your client is really concerned about some sort of encroachment, and that could be, any improvement, a shed, either their shed or what they think is their shed or what they think might be their neighbor's shed, or a fence or a wall, anything like that that's going to be on the property line, and it's something that it rises to the level that it may cause them to want to get out of the deal. Those surveys do not. They normally don't come back during the due diligence period, so think about that. You may have to recalibrate your period or even maybe put a stipulation in there about the survey, which is a little bit tricky sometimes, but if it's that important, just know that. And the value, why would somebody spend $500 on a survey? A lot of people just want to know, where the sticks are in their yard. And if you want to pay $500 for that, a lot of people do it just for that reason. But a couple of the big things are what I just mentioned before. When we get these surveys back, because when agents say their client wants one, we don't order it ourselves. We give you a referral, but then when it comes in, as the closing attorney, we will review that. And there's two main things that we're looking to review. We're looking for those encroachments. So if there's a wall or a shed or something like that, we come back and there's a bright line and we can say, hey, listen, this driveway is a little over the line. This wall is a little over the line. And we can talk about the implications of that. But another thing is called setback lines. So there's a minimum amount of distance, depending on what city and county that you're in, that an improvement can be. So you can only be so close to the sideline of the property. You can only be so close to the road and even on the back. And if properties are over those lines, over those setback lines, then it can be, you have to jump through other hoops to get building permits, basically. You have to get a variance sometimes in order to improve or change the footprint of the property. So those are the two big things that we're checking on. So just to reiterate, if your client is concerned about an encroachment, or if they're going to pull a building permit and they're going to want to improve or change the footprint, then it might be worth that $500. But if you ever have clients that have questions about surveys or anything else, feel free to give me a call or send me an email. I'm happy to help.
Great. Hey, Charlie, I have a question about surveys. So I have a buyer and we've asked the seller for a survey, and maybe it's a year or two old.
Yeah, you know what? That's obviously better than nothing.
Okay.
If you get that survey, it's important to physically probably walk around with it in hand to see if it looks like it matches what's in reality. Obviously, if something's 2 years old, someone could have built a wall. Someone could have built a fence. The setback lines are probably not going to change from what they have there. But a lot of times, if you can get that from the seller and then you can take that in hand or on your phone and walk the property, then you might see that you don't need another one.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. If anybody has any questions for Charlie, put it in the chat and I will man the chat today and we will throw some questions back at you if anybody has any questions. Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you.
Great. Supreme Dream Team, as I say, come on down. Hi, Kim.
Hi. It's the end of the month, so everybody knows that sometimes closing gets sideways. If you need a Supreme rescue, reach out to us. We are still closing loans in record time. So, but on to some good news. Okay, you're gonna wanna get your pens and your papers out and write down these dates. We've got condo CE class coming up on the 28th. It's gonna be 12 to 3, and that'll be a Zoom CE. So write that down, 28th, 12 to 3. We've also got the Credit Essentials call with Lisa Myers, our credit whisperer, coming up this Saturday at 10 a.m. And for those of you that don't know, that's a class with Lisa Myers, who is a credit expert on how to improve, repair, change, get your credit score even higher. And a lot of people think it may be only through paying off or down credit cards, but there are all sorts of other tips and tricks like getting late payments removed, getting collections deleted. So that's a really great class, and it's open to not only you as the realtors, but for you to invite your clients as well and let them know that you're trying to do everything you can to help them. It's a free class, so it's a great touch to your database. So anyone that you know that you want to invite, we'll send out the Zoom link. And with some more great news, we've got Kenzie to talk about personal best.
Kenzie, hi.
He might be having trouble with his Zoom. I think his microphone. All right, so I'll touch on personal best then until we get that working.
Okay.
Thursday, August 6th, we're gonna have Herschel Walker on. And many of you know Herschel Walker. He's not only a pro football player, Heisman winner, NFL record holder, Olympian, MMA fighter. So that's going to be a really, really great time on the personal and professional best. Write it down. It's August 6th at 3 p.m. So we're really, really excited about that and all of our classes. Justin, can you give us some news you can use?
Absolutely. And if you guys haven't heard of Herschel Walker, just make sure you ask Kim, because I know that she is a big, big, big fan of Herschel Walker in her college days.
I'm a Gator fan.
So just wanted to say that you guys are absolute rock stars, completely crushing it. Give you a quick little stat. 2016, I believe it was March 2016, that was Supreme's greatest volume month ever. And then this year, for the last 5 months, going on 6 months in a row, we have consecutively broken that volume record because of you guys. So thank you so much for all that you do, for sending us all of your business. We absolutely appreciate it. We're completely all about keeping our promises. We want to always, always, always close on time, fund on time. So give you some quick little stats. 90% of our loans year to date have closed in 13 business days.
Wow.
Clear to close, 13 business days, 90%. 50% of our loans are closing in 9.5 business days. So that is amazing, even with the increased crazy amounts of volume. We are currently close on time, fund on time at 99.5% company-wide. So that is amazing with this amazing amount of new volume. One thing I want to touch on. In the last 50 years, for the first time, interest rates are averaging below 3%. This is huge. So if you are trying to buy a house, your customers are trying to buy a house, if you want to buy an investment property, if you have not refinanced in the last, I'd say even year, then you are living under a rock. This is such a good opportunity. So please contact all of your customers, all of your past customers, even if they recently purchased. Just check in on them, because they might be ready to, purchase that home and take advantage of these rates in the twos Even if they purchased just a year ago, they might be able to refinance, and you can offer value to them to show them that, hey, yes, you bought at 4.5, 4.25, maybe even 4%, but now you can get 2.75, 2.875, save them some money, help their family, make that phone call. It's a great opportunity to do it. But we appreciate you guys. Everything is rocking and rolling. So keep seeing us deals. We're here to get them all closed for you on time, every time.
Thank you, Justin. So what I'm hearing you saying is make a care call. It's never too late to talk about low interest rates, which are astronomically low. Can your marketing department put together a graphic that shows the what Justin just talked about, which is closing in 13 days, closing in 9.5 days, and closing on time? Can you do a graphic on that so we can put it out there?
Absolutely, 100%.
That'd be
Might have
great.
one. We'll get on that.
Yeah, great. Thank you. All right, send that to Kayla and we will get that out there. Thank you, guys. That's great news.
I actually have a big announcement here.
Scott has a big announcement. Do you need
Big
a drum
announcement.
roll?
Yeah. Someone's about to be a father again,
Congrats!
but it's not me. Kenzie, I know your microphone is all busted, but put on a big smile, buddy. Kenzie's about to have another boy, y'all.
Wow, congrats. That's exciting. Congrats, Kenzie.
Congrats.
Wow. I know Pat's excited. Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. We appreciate the dream team at Supreme. And again, just start with Supremes. Hashtag just start with Supreme. Yes, they can rescue. However, so much easier if you start off with them from the beginning. Yes. All righty, Kathy, are you on the call? Kath, I don't know if she is on the call. Hold on.
I'm here.
Oh, hi, Kath.
Hi there.
What is your Broker's Corner tip today?
Okay, my Broker's Corner tip today is a reminder to agents that corporations and LLCs cannot sign contracts. It has to be a person. They have to have either the manager of the LLC or a member authorized to sign, or the president of the corporation, or the contract may be unenforceable. So any questions on that, ask me, ask an attorney, but yes, they have to be signed by a person, because a corporation or LLC is not a person.
Gotcha.
You can put it in the name of the LLC. You can put it in the name of the corporation, but it has to be signed by either the president of the corporation or somebody authorized to sign for the corporation, or the LLC manager or member who's authorized to sign.
And do you need a document showing that that person is authorized to sign for that LLC?
If it's not the manager, if it's the manager, all managers are authorized to sign. If it's a corporation and it's not the president, yes, you need information that says who's authorized to sign for real estate for that corporation.
Great. Okay.
Because there's a lot, it depends on how big it is. There's a lot of different people authorized to sign for different things with corporations, as I have found out.
Okay. Always a great question to ask, especially when you're dealing with investors that have an investment group. Make sure the one that's signing is the one that is allowed to sign.
That's right. And if you're doing an estate, make sure the person signing has gone through probate and they are the executor of the estate. Because sometimes, oh, well, the sister's signing because they said she could sign. It's not enforceable. Sorry.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. Thanks, Kathy. Any questions? Let us know. Put them in the chat and we'll go back to who the question is for. All righty, Kristen. Do y'all know that Gary's birthday is July 21st? July 21st. And so, of course, in his wonderful giving way, we, the company, are working to raise $195,700. That's because he was born in 1957 to his favorite charity, KW Kids Cares. So if you would like to help us reach our goal and wish Gary a humongous birthday, link is on the screen. And so we would love it if you would all take it into your hearts, even $5 to help us get to our goal in honor of Gary Keller. A birthday card to the international office might be kind of a fun thing too, if Peachtree Road flooded his inbox, or his mailbox actually, with birthday cards. So that's just a suggestion if you want to do that. All righty. All righty, James, I think you're on the call, yes?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, hey, so question, James.
Hey,
Look
Dory.
at the screen.
What you got?
You see the screen?
I do.
Okay.
Oh, I like those numbers. Those are
I
sexy.
love those numbers. So I was kind of just wondering if anybody on the call, you can like raise your hand with the little hand raising thingy. So let's see. I would love to have 14% more listings taken. How could I do that, James?
Well, gosh, Dory, if you look at the stats, it simply says all you need to do is sign up for stinking Bold Pivot in August. It's not brain surgery, my friends. People who get into action take more business. The numbers are sussing it out. If you, all you have to do is get into the action of a high-performing agent, follow the language of people who are succeeding at the highest levels, and the numbers will simply follow. So if you were anticipating only selling 100 homes this year, well, why don't we add 14 more onto that? Because I know that 100 is a minimum for everyone on this call. Add 14 more, just sign up for Bold Pivot in August.
Well, and you know what I love about this stat, because obviously Command is newish, right? It's not brand new, but it's newish. And 133% more campaigns created. That's huge.
You know, I think it's powerful when you increase your smart plans, when you increase your campaigns, because it's just giving you an edge over what, you know, it's showing the stats. 79% of the people just aren't doing it. Having an increase of 133% in your campaigns is bringing about more business. So that 14% more listings was only in the time that we had Bold. There are lingering effects. Those people are going to see those listings in 30, 60, 90 days after those campaigns are created.
Yes, and I would think that everybody wants listings. Yes, and that's what our panel is all about today, right? Is how to get them, what you're seeing out there. And so thanks, James. I knew you were on the call, so I'm just going to put you on the spot. Thank you for letting me do that.
Oh yeah, and guys, you're also going to see me give a live listing presentation on this Bold Pivot. So if you want to be a part of that, come check out and see what we're doing.
Awesome. That is great. And Kristen, can we have the next screen? We'll talk about a little bit more. It starts August 4th. It's Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 4. It is open to anybody that would like to take this class. So I want to ask you, if you know of a great co-op agent that you have had a great transaction with, even if you went through some hiccups, but you got it and you got it to the closing table and you actually walked away with being friends, which is awesome, right? We will be happy to sponsor them. We have 10 spots to sponsor co-op agents. So if you have somebody, please put it in the chat and I'll grab it and I'll reach out to them. Please give me their name and their phone number, and we would love to offer Bold Pivot. This is open to anybody. Now, if you want to take it, James, what does it normally cost if it comes into town? When it comes into town?
Where you are face-to-face with Coach James would be $799.
And how much it is for Bold Pivot online?
I don't know. It's like it's free. It's like 99 bucks.
It's free. It's $99, everyone. And not an advantage or a disadvantage. However, something interesting about Bold Pivot, and James can speak to this, is there's a different Bold coach on each session. So you get the expertise of major Bold coaches throughout the whole process. And I'm not saying doing it in person with one Bold coach is a bad thing. I'm not saying that. You actually get to experience Bold coaches, multiple Bold coaches. James,
yeah, I mean, guys, the fact of the matter is that when you typically go to Bold, you're going to get regional coaches. So I typically hover around the East Coast and the Midwest, and yet there are tons of coaches who are incredible out on the West Coast who you may never see here And yet in Bold Pivot, you get to experience everyone's different flavor, which I think is a fun opportunity.
I think that's great. So again, if you know of anybody that's a great co-op that you would like me to reach out to, please put it in the chat and I'm happy to do that. Thank you, James. We will see you shortly.
Thank you, Dory.
You're welcome. All righty, and Mega Camp is coming up. It is September 15th to the 17th. It is virtual, so anybody can go. So if you are a Mastery client, it is free. I believe if you are not a Mastery client, I believe it's $109 to take 3 days of being in a room with Gary and with amazing VIP guests. And of course, they are going to, the agenda, I have not seen the agenda yet. I just looked, I don't think it's out yet. However, once it's out, we'll put it out there. Early bird pricing is available now and it's at megacamp.kw.com. So if you want to experience Gary Keller up close and personal, this is a way to do it. All righty. All right, so how about we share our top producers? Kristen, question for you. Is this awesome? Thank you.
Oh,
go back.
I'm trying.
Okay.
Things are happening.
You gotta love social media. So our June top producers. Congratulations to our top 20, our top producers for the month of June. Can't wait to see who July is. It's turning into being a wonderful June and July, which is fabulous. I know Kristen's, oh my, who is this lovely lady that is on the screen? We are so excited to announce that our new assistant team leader is on DMA. You may have been on our team meeting call 2 weeks ago, or you may have been in the top 5% last week where you got to hear her speak. We have put her through an exhaustive interview process. She will agree with you there. And we are delighted that she has joined our leadership team and leadership office and the Keller Williams Peachtree Road family. We are so excited. She blends in beautifully. She has a heart for people like nobody else, which is why she blends so beautifully, because you know we care about all of our agents. And so Andia, hi.
Hi, thank you, Dory.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
I am so thrilled and so excited to be here. You know, it was awesome to be able to share a week or so ago with the team meeting and talking about Mindset Matters and my passion, which is truly developing people. And I'm so excited to be a part of this leadership team. I'll give you just a little bit of my background. Coming from the Midwest, I was a young girl who fell in love with entrepreneurship when I met John Maxwell. He spoke, and at 20 years old, I said, I've got to get around this guy because he's got something amazing and he knows how to develop people and leaders. And I got hired at 20 years old to work for his company and was personally mentored by him, which if you don't know him, Google him, 72 New York Times bestsellers, just a phenomenal leadership development thought leader and teacher. And I started my journey there and paired that passion for development into real estate and started training and coaching real estate agents and teams. My focus is brand development and enhancement, marketing, strategy, and I'm going to be able to launch an amazing coaching program here with you all for that $2 to $5 million range. Right when you're in the beginning, you go through productivity coaching with Katie, you're getting that foundation going, and then you need to elevate your business, right? Which is focusing in on brand and value proposition and how you're presenting yourself to the marketplace. So I'll be launching that program very, very soon, even this week, and you'll be hearing from me. And I'm just so excited to be here and be a part of your mission. I was a team leader with Keller Williams about 13 months. And when I saw Dory and what you guys were doing here, I fell in love with the mission and the heart for people. And so when the opportunity arose, I jumped on it. So I'm so thankful for it and can't wait to partner up with Dory and the team and be a part of your family.
We are so excited. I want to tell everybody that we have been strategizing for the past 2 days, this morning included, and we've got some amazing new ideas. Andia is a pro at brand development, so we're going to make sure that everybody knows that Keller Williams Peachtree Road is the place to join under her guidance. And she will be working, as she said, she's creating a coaching program called Elevate, I believe, with the 2 to 5 million producer. So if you were a 2 to 5 million producer last year by the end of the year and you have hit 2 to 5 this year, she will be reaching out to you. And we are so excited to see, first of all, where she takes that coaching group, because we know it's going to be amazing, and how she helps us achieve our goals here at KW Peachtree Road. So welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. John and Johunna, I know you're on the call and we're a little short on time, so we want to introduce you to the Keller Williams Peachtree Road Southeast Region Representative for the Social Equality Task Force, John Thompson, and our Market Center Representative, Johunna Redmond. And they're going to talk to you for a teeny bit, a little bit, and then we're going to follow up with a committee meeting once we have a few more things in place. We're waiting to hear from region and from international. John and John, you want to take it for about 5 minutes?
Yes, thank you, Dory.
Sure.
So I think everyone is familiar with the task force and the lay of the land right now in our society. And we're a company where we have a vision for people to build businesses worth owning and lives worth living. And we just want to make sure through the Social Equality Task Force that is actually relevant and reaches everyone within our market center and everyone within our company, and quite honestly, even outside our industry. And so obviously we need to set up a group, a task force here in our market center. There's a lot of initiatives going on at the top level at international and regional, but what we want to do is focus on the things that we can control here in our market center. And so if, John, are you online?
I am.
Okay.
Sorry.
So just to let everyone know, so I'm representing our market center at the regional level, and John, as an ALC member, is representing us here at the market center level. So if you would like to participate in the actual market center committee, if you could please email John, and John, why don't you give them your email address?
I'll put it in the chat, John.
Okay, you put it in there. Perfect. That's technology. You put it in the chat. All right. So please email her if you want to be part of the committee, and I will let you know up front, one of the texts that market centers and people in leadership and agents are reading around the country. It's a book. I just received it this morning. It's called How to Be an Anti-Racist by Dr. Kendi. And there's a book and workbook that we're going to start I hope that the committee agrees to start a book club and that everyone wants to read it. I believe our culture in our market center is phenomenal when it comes to productivity. You know, I always say, you know, how long can you say try in our market center with someone calling you out on it, right? Like what, 0.2 seconds, right? If you walk around and sit market center time, I'm gonna try to do something, somebody's gonna pop their head out their office and say, try. No, there is no try, right? That's the culture of our market center. So although we have phenomenal people, we all have to recognize that we all have blind spots when it comes to racial identity and racial issues within our country and in our market center, and that it's nothing that you've been personally, may or may not been personally taught by your family or friends. It's not a personal issue. It's a systematic issue. And so if we all have blind spots, then as mature adults who want to, because we believe in teamwork, that everyone achieves more, that we want everyone to achieve more, then we need to learn some things, or in some instances, forget some things, some notions that we have been saturated with throughout our country from various sources, media, school, whatever, because everyone has biases, prejudices that were put on you, that if you don't stop and think back about how it is, how it may come out in day-to-day life, then it's one of those things where, you know, like the book talks about, you know, none of us want to be a racist, right? But being not a racist is not being anti-racist. So, right. So it's just like, you know, no one supports, you know, any other sort of sin or crime. So you want to be an anti-racist. And so that's all.
John, it's more along the lines of awareness, perception. We're continuing that thought process, being aware and understanding how perception is seen in the country and in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's awareness in every way. And it's so, and here's the thing, it's so subtle. And here's the thing, I know many people in this market center. We have great people in this market center with great hearts and who are giving. I mean, you can see that in everything that we do in our market center. We have phenomenal people. And at the same time, there are things that if you're unaware of your blind spots, how can you know and improve or make something better or make our market center, make our communities better if you're unaware of it? And that's what we want to challenge, that there's someone's missing something somewhere. All of us are included.
So we will send out an email about the first committee meeting. We're getting a little bit more clarity, like I said, from region and from international. And as soon as we get that, we will send out an email for those that would like to join this committee. We appreciate you both, John and Johunna. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty, I can't see the screen. Oh, it's time for Kristen's tips. Hey, Kristen.
Hi. Okay, so the tip today is the command has a goal section.
Really? A goal section? That's cool.
Section. You can set them and you can track them all within command, and it uses your command stats. to figure out where you're at. So Dory's actually giving me a couple minutes to share how to do this with you. So I'm going to switch screens somehow. Here we go. And we're gonna get into Command. And go to the goals section, which is actually under reports. It looks like the little bar graph here. So we're gonna hopefully do this in about 2 to 3 minutes. And then you guys can go home and do some homework and practice with it. And then if you have questions, reach out to me. So on the top here, you have goals. We're gonna click on that. Yours will probably be blank for now, but you can see there will be a lot of things that they can track and that you can set goals for. So in order to start, you're gonna hit the green button that says Goal Settings. It'll take you through to a Kelly guide, which walks you through all of the steps. You'll simply hit Get Started, and you'll see here that you can choose this year or next year, and you immediately start with your annual profit goal. Now, the nice thing about this is it kind of starts at the top and then breaks it down for you. So you're gonna set your goal of what you want to make in the year. Now, this isn't your gross commission income. This is actually how much you wanna take home in your pocket after you've paid out all of your expenses. So you'll notice next to all of the items, it has a little I button where you can get information on specifically what number it's asking for. And you simply fill out the information based on your goals, your years to date sales volume, your expenses versus your cost of sale. So this is expenses that you have regardless of if you make a sale or not. And these are costs based on when you make a sale. For instance, you know, if you have a listing, you have to have photos. That's an expense solely based on that listing. You then figure out your makeup, business makeup. So are you listings, buyers, and leases? What percentage do you work in each of these? And then your average commission per unit. So once you've filled all of that out, you'll notice that this graph up here will change. If you change an amount, it'll tell you what percentage is your profit versus your cost of sales versus operating expenses. And then you'll hit next. Now you're setting your conversion rates. So this is the amount that you convert, your average of converting from each of these different states. They've already put in the average that Keller Williams has figured out based on the current stats that are in Command and based on past years. This will change as more people begin tracking items in Command and become more relevant. So you can leave them as is, or you can change them if you know your percentage. You're gonna save and continue. It's gonna give you a moment to review all of your items, and then it'll take you to next steps. Once you exit out, you'll now see all of your goals on the goals sheet that you can then break down by listings or buyers. You can do this month versus this year. You can compare yourself to all Keller Williams agents, agents in my market center, top 10%. And you get pretty graphs to show you where you're at and where you want to go. Dory, do you have anything to add, or is that good?
John has a question.
Oh, perfect.
That I'm going to let you handle. Does the goal section include team goals?
That is a great question, to which I do not know the answer.
I don't think it does yet. Kristen and I are on a call on Thursdays, and I know that they're working on the team goal. I think what most teams are doing, it's going under the Rainmaker's name, and everything's going under the Rainmaker for now until they bring out the team agenda. And I don't think it's out yet. I haven't seen anything, and Kristen and I have not heard anything yet.
No,
That's why I asked Kristen. I thought maybe she would have heard before me.
No, I have not heard. I've heard of a lot of new team functions coming, but goals has not been one of the ones that's been, I think, you know, things within opportunities and smart plans and campaigns have been more of a priority than the goals section for teams. So,
okay, gotcha. Okay, if anybody has any questions, put them in the chat. I'll shoot them back over to Kristen. Keep going, Kristen.
Okay. So we have two command learning resources that we want to share with you if you're not familiar with them. Say you want to dive into command and you don't really know where to start. These two options are great. They walk you through all the steps. So the first is Marty Miller's 66-Day Challenge 4.0. He just started this, I think he's on day 30, so he started a month ago, and he's still going. You can find this on YouTube. Just search Marty Miller 66-Day Challenge and it'll come up. And he's got a whole playlist right here. Most of them are under 10-minute videos. You can pause them and walk along with them if you want. They're really easy to follow, and he goes through, breaks down the different steps within command. So that's the first resource. The second one is Command 101 by Nick Baldwin. So this you can access at command101.teachable.com. And you have to sign up, but it is free. You have to create a login because he has modules that you go through. There's a quiz at the end of each one. You don't have to get 100% to move on. But it just kind of is 2 or 3 questions to test your knowledge on the video that he just shared. And again, these videos are about under 10 minutes. And yeah, you can go through at your own pace and learn and then walk alongside him as you do the different aspects of command.
And Kristen, I believe that we have the capability to grab Marty's day at a time and post it on our Facebook page. I think that's what we're going to do starting tomorrow. Is we'll start with day 1 and we'll post it on our Facebook page. So if you don't want to go to his page, we're going to post it and we're just going to do it for the next 66 days because Nick's is a sign-in. We can't do that. However, highly recommend both because it'll actually take you through every process. And Marty upped this because when command first came out, he did command 66-day challenge and he revamped the whole thing because there's so much new to command. So it's brand new information. Yeah. And you have a question from Stacy. Are you doing another DocuSign class anytime soon?
Stacy, we know we need another one. It is not on the calendar yet, but you can look for it coming.
Okay.
And then if you still need help, my command help desk is still open every Tuesday. It's still via Zoom. So you can just pop on at 10 a.m. on Tuesday mornings and I can share a screen like we're doing now, or you can share yours and we can get all of your problems resolved.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Great.
And upcoming classes. There we go. So as you all know, KWRI is still doing digital training. There's a class at 1 o'clock and there is a class at 4 o'clock. The 4 o'clock Friday class is always a lifeline with Gary. So they're always valuable. And I do believe that you're able to go back and look after the fact if you aren't able to catch them during the actual Zoom call. So those are always fabulous, of course. And then, of course, we've got upcoming classes, and I want you to know that Dee and I are going to be working the next few days on an amazing August calendar, so stand by. We're working on that furiously to make sure we're bringing great value to you all. You can take a snapshot of this. We will send it out to you as a link so you know exactly what's going on through the end of July and first part of August, of course. Katie Staples' classes are, her PC groups are Monday from 12 to 3 as listed. News You Can Use, Pat Flood is still doing with Supreme on Mondays from 3 to 4. And then you can see the rest of the classes. We have mentioned some of them already. Coffee and Command is always on Thursdays. Mondays, again, productivity coaching. And then Kelly will have her Agents and Growth Mastermind Tuesday the 4th from 12 to 1:30. Remember, Bold Pivot starts August 4th. And Kayla will be doing a Command Designs with Kayla, Coffee and Command, on Thursday the 6th from 10 to 10:30. And don't miss Supreme's personal and professional best with Herschel Walker. That should be really interesting. And again, Credit Essentials for Agents and Home Buyers with Lisa Meyer. And now, let's chat with Karen and Kenya, James, Rachel, and Johunna about listings. So we keep hearing that listings are at an all-time low. And we understand this. However, we want to talk to some experts about how they are doing getting listings, and there's lots involved with this. Is not just a, hey, this is how I'm getting them. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. So, all right, I think everybody's on the call. Yes?
Yes.
Unmute yourself and say yes. Karen's on vacation.
Yes.
So appreciate you being with us.
Sure.
All righty, so tell us, have you been getting calls from your past clients or future clients? Hey, come list my house. Are you searching for them? Karen, let's start with you.
Okay, so I would say I'm getting that more than I have in previous years. The first thing I'd like to say is we haven't really changed any of our goals for this year. We're still keeping our goals right where they were before COVID. And I think just kind of having that bar set out there is really helpful for us. But yes, I am getting calls from past clients. And, you know, y'all may not know this, but I pretty much had not done a whole lot with my past clients. And this year I've kind of started, you know, trying to bring a little bit of that sphere marketing in there. And so, yes, I have been getting calls from past clients. It's only really started in the last like 3.5 to 4 weeks.
Okay. Kenya, how about you?
So for me, you know, I really do, well, let me back up. I'd like to do the best that I can to stay in contact with my database. So I've gotten a few calls, but honestly, I'm fishing. And when I say that, I'm just really throwing out that rod, and me throwing out the rod is staying in contact with the database. And so I focus on being intentional about what I'm saying to the database, and then providing information according to their motivation, right? So discovering that, and then I think for me, that's personally helping me obtain more listings.
Okay, Rachel and James. How are you finding your listings?
Do you want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay, so I would agree with Kenya, and we're doing very much the same thing. I think right now we have really great data that we can take to our database just to say, hey, the market is crazy right now. And if you've been considering selling, I think it would be a really great time. For example, as I've been sitting here, I'm texting people that live in Chamblee to say, oh my gosh, you know, it is such a great time to sell. Just so you know, we recently sold a neighbor's home for 20% more than the most recent comp. If you know anybody that's thinking about selling, please remember us. And I do that all the time. And I actually do it just naturally based on my personality. But I'm always talking to people about what's going on in their neighborhood and what the market's doing. And I think it's a really crazy time and really a great opportunity for people to list and make a ton of money.
James, you concur?
Well, yeah, I think that now more than ever, knowledge is power, and that we've been in such a long period of unknowns, and we're still honestly existing in a place where we have no idea what the future holds. However, when you look at the lagging indicators over the past 3 months and you look at where we are right now, people who have been afraid to list are now starting to kind of dip. Some are kind of dipping their toe in the water, and others are doing a full-on belly flop into the pool. So it's just one of those opportunities where it's informing people of what's happening now, what's happened in the past, and what possibly may be lingering down the pike for the rest of the year.
I think that that's an important piece right there, that what's going to happen at the end, you know, after the election. Johunna, what are you saying? You have to unmute.
Well, how do you follow Rachel, James, Karen, and Kenya with the new information? It's really been the same for me. My farm has been really good for me. I've actually started to do some circle prospecting as well. I have a couple of listings. I think we talked the other day, and I have 12 listings coming in the pipeline. So it's really just about targeting people that want to sell, but are just a little uncertain, and kind of get, just like Rachel said, giving them, the reality of it being such short inventory right now, and not pressuring them, but just, giving them information that they may not have had, because most people think, oh, well, real estate must be horrible right now because of COVID. Actually, it's not. So, just making sure that you educate people, because I'm certain they have friends and family and, podcasts they listen to that are telling them otherwise. So it's just letting them know what you know as of today, because nobody has a crystal ball, really. So that's really all I've been doing.
Okay. Rachel, you and I were having a conversation the other day about your listings, and look at her looking like, what were we talking about? We were talking about the reality of getting how many offers on the house in Austell?
We received 37 offers on a listing in Austell recently.
Okay.
And
did you take the highest?
Well, in that situation, we absolutely did. Yeah, and it was.
What were the parameters though? Because you and I were talking about that.
Okay, this is really good data for people who are working with buyers. So I hope people really receive this. But it was interesting to see the offers that came in and how people were strategic in their offers. I would say half of the people just came in right at list price, which clearly, and I shared, guys, I've got 30 offers, with the intention of trying to drive the price for my client while also letting people know what they were, competing against. And that particular listing, that one was listed at 200 and we sold it at 226. The most recent comp in the neighborhood was 185. There was one under contract as well at the time. So we were able to strategically move the needle for that entire neighborhood. And as a result, have been really attacking people to let them know what we were able to accomplish, with the hopes and with the intention of picking up additional listings there.
No, we're not physically attacking anyone. Let's just clarify, no lawsuits.
No, but just, we're sending mailers out. We had our client reach out to the HOA person. They noticed. We had one of the people in Katie's program. We partnered with her to, have her door knock the neighborhood as a member of our team, with the intention of sharing those opportunities with her if we were able to get them. There's a lot of opportunity there.
Okay, so do you think that the fact that you got more than, go back a second, is this the house that when you were talking to neighbors, they said there's no way you're going to get above 200? Was this the house?
That was a different house. Okay. This one is in Doryville. That home received 7 offers. So what I'm noticing is that homes that are affordable and in a really good price point, like Austell, it was $200,000. Doryville, it was a $300,000 listing. Those are just prices that people really are having a hard time finding. And in order to obtain those as a buyer's agent, you really need to be strategic in the way that you're offering. The person who won that opportunity in Doryville, we chose them because they offered their appraisal contingency in their STIPs. They offered $5,000 more than any other, whatever it appraises for, they're going to be $5,000 more. And I thought that was a really great strategic move on their part.
Awesome. Okay. So I hope you're all getting the feel from a buyer's perspective how to craft an offer, right? And then from, if I'm Rachel and James and I know they're doing this, they're farming, they're calling, they're circle prospecting and say, hey, we got this when the neighbors told us we'd never get more than this number, and we did. So Kenya, what are you seeing around your listings? Multiple offers? There was a question, Rachel and James, what was the condition of the property on a scale from 1 to 10? And that, I believe he's referencing the Austell house. Good condition?
I mean, it was in okay condition.
Okay.
It was in Star Wars condition.
Yeah, they were really, it was an interesting house. I didn't, it wasn't one that stood out to me as being, the best, but of course we were very strategic in the way that we marketed it, had a stager come out, did some editing of some photos. I mean, it was presented very well.
Okay, and did it appraise? Has that one closed?
It appraised.
It appraised. So you just increased the neighborhood.
And that was another thing that we were strategic in the way that we did our, the work to the appraiser as well. We found comps outside the neighborhood. I met them there. We had a whole packet of information for them.
Okay. Kenya, what are you seeing on your listings?
I mean, especially my listings that are 350 and under, I am seeing multiple offer situations, and I'm happy for that. However, I am experiencing longer days on the market if it's typically a price point that's higher than that. So I am really being strategic again and just informing my database of what's happening in the real estate market. I feel that a lot of my database, they're just misinformed, and they are paying attention to what they're hearing, whether it's local news or national. So again, I keep harping on the intentionality piece of it, but it is making sure that I give important or pertinent information, right, based off of their motivation to say, hey, this is a prime time for you to put your house on the market now. And as I go along in this business, I'm learning to really focus on deepening my relationships, because I know that I feel that I'm pretty good at doing that. And so when I continue to deepen my relationships, I feel that it helps me get more listings, versus nothing against expires, nothing against for sale by owners, but you really got to rock with what you know. Anybody on this call, do you. This is great information, but at the same time, you have to figure out really what is going to work best for you.
I agree. Karen, what are you seeing on yours?
I'm seeing like on good houses, maybe 2 offers, maybe 3, but not like 30. Just, trying to get like, strong full price offers. Ideally like, full price, no closing costs, but I mean, yeah, quick offers, coming in the first 24 to 48 hours. I would say I'm probably most proud in this past week of like actually winning offers for buyers. I mean, that has been just like, it's brutal. It's like using every single thing you can think of to try to be the winning one. So, and I think we had 3 last week, and I usually don't work with that many buyers, but I've got quite a few buyers right now. And I don't know if Catherine, who works with me, is on the call, but thank you, Catherine, because she's been working so hard while I've been here in Wyoming. But yeah, that's been, it's crazy trying to get your buyer's offer in there, and be the winning one. So yeah, I appreciate everybody's comments that they've, said about how to win the offer, because we've been doing them all, trying to do everything to get our buyer to get the offer, or get the property. So thank you.
Johunna, what are you seeing with your listings? Are they moving quickly? Are they sitting? Are there multiple offers? What's going on?
Yes, all of those things. It just really depends. Like Kenya said, on the price point and the condition. Unfortunately, I have sellers who, think they can, overprice properties still. They're finally kind of coming around to understanding. I've been, lucky enough that all of my listings have been under contract now. And just like Rachel was saying, and I think Chris said it in the chat too, about these properties, you know, going for well over asking. When I'm with a buyer, I technically will tell them, hey, I've been on the seller side and I know what the seller is looking for. So if you want to win it, let's go in, you submit your strongest offer, you know, let's not play around with it. You may only get one opportunity to submit an offer and you want that offer to be the best offer going in. You certainly don't want it to be a situation. I've had buyers miss out literally for $2,000. And, you know, having those conversations the next day with them, and they're like, oh, well, I could have bid up $2,000 more. Well, I asked you that yesterday, and today here we are. So on the listing side, it's really just, you know, being transparent with the buyers and letting them know, like, hey, here's where we are. If we have multiple offers, here's where we are. Most buyers agents that I've been seeing won't call you to ask if there are any offers. They won't call you to see if the property is under contract. They won't call you to see kind of what's important to the seller kind of a situation. You know, I have a ton of investors that are looking for properties as well right now. So, and they're going in strong. You know, I've had investors that were, you know, hard money before. They're going in all cash, quick closings, low to no due diligence periods. So on the listing side, that's kind of what we're looking for. And I'm sure a lot of these other agents can attest to the fact that if you send me a strong offer and it's less headache, that's what we're looking for. We're not looking for headaches. Yeah. I hope that answered your question, Dory. I feel like
it's great. No, it's great. So I want everybody to answer this question because I've been hearing a lot of issues about this. So Stacy has a question. With the price being what it is in condition, are your sellers open to repairs or more likely to say no to giving closing costs? Rachel, go ahead.
Okay, so I have a funny story. So James actually met with the seller weeks ago, and he was, you know, we had the stager come by and they did the work. I went to do the photos, or I met the photographer there, and literally met the client for the first time. And I said, hey, I'm Rachel. Is it okay if I boss you around to make you lots of money? And he was like, absolutely. So I made him leave and go to Home Depot and get pine straw for the front of his home. We did photos, and I had my landscaper come by the next day because it wasn't perfect enough. I had him go get flowers for his flower buckets. We edited the photos so you couldn't tell that the grass needed to be cut. I mean, I really, really, really push that people make their home look as perfect as possible. And in doing that, you know, that's how we're getting tons of offers.
Well, and I think
that's actually a great strategy. I think I'm gonna use that next time.
Yeah.
It's a great line too. James, what were you going to say?
Well, and I think on top of that, it's working to mitigate any potential issues that could come up on that inspection report on the front end. And it's, I want to think of how to say this. When you are speaking to a possible seller, when you're going in for a listing appointment, please remember you're interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing you.
All right.
You have to be confident in yourself. You have to be confident in what you're sharing with them, to the point where it comes to, listen, on a scale of 1 to 10, how honest do you want your real estate agent to be with you? Well, obviously 10. Well, get ready. Here comes a 10. You know, it's prepping them to let them know the work that we do right now will help mitigate any potential issues down the road, knowing that there will be stuff down the road. We're looking to cure any of that on the front end, to remove any doubt in a buyer's mind when they cross the threshold of your home. So yeah, I want it fixed before the inspector walks in the door as much as possible, so that they don't have a right to say no to it later.
Right. And you know, when I teach Ignite, and I actually teach sell your listing, it's okay, I've got the listing, and now what do I do? And so I remember having a conversation with Angela Lawson a couple of years ago, and we had this epiphany that if you can't talk to your seller truthfully, honestly, and purposefully to get those visible items that need to be repaired done prior to putting it on the market, then your seller is going to pay for it twice. Now, this is not in a multiple offer situation, because in a multiple offer situation, this won't fly. If this is a normal property in a normal time, the buyer's going to come in and they are not going to give you full price because they visibly can see things that need to be fixed. And then they're also going to ask for them on the inspection. So your seller actually just paid for them twice because they didn't get full price, right? And now they're asked to be being fixed. So I always use that when I'm talking to my seller. And I love Rachel's line, you mind if I boss you around a little bit? Boy, does that take control from your seller. Wow.
Like she used that on James.
I'm gonna write that down.
James, let me boss you around a little bit so you can get the rest of your life.
Hey, and Dory, and yeah, one more thing. I want to say that today I got a text from the seller that just said, thank you so much for all this work getting the price up so high, and mad kudos for the pine straw loading and extra cleaning efforts. Like literally, I followed him to Home Depot and loaded the pine straw in my car as well, wearing a Lily Pulitzer dress and wedges. Like we were working in the yard. I put my assistant on it too. Like we do whatever it takes to get good money for our clients. And that's how we get referrals. And we're constantly reminding them of the things that we're doing and that they need to tell their friends.
Yeah, if I have to haul pine straw in a Lily Pulitzer dress, I'll do it too for a referral. Whatever it takes.
Dory, I think one of the best listing strategies right now is really the first date. I think I've used the first date reference with you before. Like a lot of these pictures, I commend any listing agent that will be honest with their seller to let them know, like it needs to look a certain way in these pictures. This is the first impression. We have all seen these cell phone picture photos on these listings. People will take them from the car. You'll see the car window in the photo, or they'll do a Google Earth screenshot and upload it. And some of these pictures are horrible. And I just don't understand how that even works. But that's one of the strategies, of course, that I use, is I just make sure that, that the house looks good, it smells good, and the photos are immaculate, truly.
Right, because what's the percentage? Y'all know what the percentage is of buyer looking online, first time online? That's pictures. And when new agents used to come into my coaching program, I would hold up my phone and I say, "This is not your camera." I was like, "Yes, it is." I said, no, it's not. You need a professional photographer to take photos, and it has to look good. Okay, let's talk about appraisals. Rachel, James, start off with, what are you doing so the appraiser actually buys into this price that's inflated over what the neighborhood has sold for? Rachel, you're mute.
Rachel, you're on mute.
This is tough. And I always set the expectation with, the seller that, our goal was to outperform the neighborhood, and we absolutely did. The appraisal is an opinion of value from someone that we don't know. And it really is pivotal on how they receive the home and where it should be. So clearly, we provide a copy of the contract to let them know what the sales price was.
Right.
And then, I take all the listings that have recently sold and mark all over them to point out square footages and how our home is so much better than the others. And then if I need to, and in the instance of the home in Austell, we went outside of the neighborhood to find comps, and I needed those outside of the neighborhood in order for the numbers to work.
Rachel, are you telling the appraiser that you had multiple offers? I know you're telling them.
Oh, for sure. I for sure told them we had 37 offers. Yeah.
Kenya, what are you doing when it comes to appraisals if you have a higher price than what the neighborhood has sold for?
Well, honestly, I'm just thankful that I haven't encountered any appraisal issues this year.
Ooh.
Yeah, it is certainly a blessing. However, again, I think that with your client, you always have to set the expectation that there could be a possibility where the appraisal value may come in low, and this is what we need to do. So me being a former teacher, it's like, here's the lesson plan, right? And this is how we can attack this. if the appraisal value comes in dramatically lower than the offer price. So again, as long as you're focused on setting the expectation and they understand what ifs, right, of what can happen, then I think for my clients and my sellers, it makes it easier for them to continue. Well, just forget it. I'm frustrated. They know that there could possibly be a hiccup there. So again, for me, it's just about if it comes in low, then this is what we can do, right? And I give them 2 or 3 options of how we can keep moving forward.
Awesome. Karen, what are you doing? Are you seeing high appraisals? Are your houses going in multiple offers?
Did you say me? Yes. So, I mean, basically what I do is make sure that in the FMLS that I've put notes in the remarks so that the appraiser can see it when they pull it up. It says, oh my gosh, multiple offers. This house is amazing. So much, you know, and kind of highlight some things there so that they see it when they go in to pull the data. And then I also do a sheet that basically talks all about why this house, what this house has that the other houses don't have, basically, which I've usually already done for, you know, for the listing. But just make sure that the appraiser sees that, make sure it's prominent in the house. I'm not one that usually tells the appraiser the comps. You know, I usually don't necessarily do that. You know, I will look carefully at the appraisal after it comes back because I would say like over 50% of the time there's major mistakes on it, you know, that the appraiser has made. So I'll look at that really closely, and kind of having that background in appraisal helps me be able to kind of look at certain things on it, because often it's really wrong and you can just make a couple changes on it and get the value up. So that's kind of what I do. And, you know, I have had some lately where the appraiser has been kind of like, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get this value. And so, you know, I've worked with the appraiser on that, and, you know, really that feature sheet, because there usually is a reason why it's going way over price. You know, usually it does have something to point out, whether it's, you know, I don't know, recessed lighting, you know, new appliances, just all the different things. And then if there is a monetary value on all that, if you can like put a line and say total $75,000 that they spent, you know, I think that just helps, gives the appraiser a reason to be able to give you that extra money.
Okay. Johunna, what are you seeing with appraisals?
I have been meeting meeting the appraisals at the house as well. Typically, my appraisal package is going to be the FMLS printout of the property, as well as all the photos of the interior of the property, as well as a feature sheet of all the either the updates or the upgrades that the seller did to the property. Like Karen said, if there is a monetary value on those particular updates, I'll put that on there. Of course, I'll include solds. I'll also highlight the differences in the two, basically backing up our value, square footage, beds and baths, typical things to that nature. That's been my biggest thing, is literally meeting the appraiser and having a conversation with him about, hey, here's where we are. If we have multiple offers, I will let him know. There have been times in the past where I've actually included the first page of the offer in the appraisal package, just so they can see like we had viable offers, well, either well over list price or at list price or whatever it was, to kind of substantiate why we came to the price we came to as well.
Gotcha. So let me ask you a question. What is your conversation with your sphere right now? When you're engaging with them and just having a conversation, doing your care calls, you know, some agents are asking me, you know, what do you think a good dialogue is? And I said, I think a good dialogue right now is if you're even remotely considering selling your home, let's talk about it now. rather than waiting until the election, because I don't have a crystal ball and I don't know what's going to happen. So if you're remotely interested, let's just have a conversation. So what do those conversations sound like? Because obviously we're looking for listing inventory.
Yeah, I would say that it just starts with meeting people where they are, checking in, and it's simple. And you guys have heard this before, and yet it works. Just asking, hey, how you doing? How are you doing with everything that's going on? Everybody, here's what I can tell you. Everybody right now is experiencing life very, very differently right now. There are some people who are very scared. There are some people who are really struggling. There are some people who have no idea what the financial future holds, and yet just meeting them where they are and saying, how are you doing? How can I serve you? I think that anytime we come across, and this is just my personal opinion, anytime we come across right now with an agenda, people are going to smell it.
Yeah.
It's going to reek of it. And yet when you ask people how they're doing, they're going to ask you how you're doing. And it responds back, right now the market is crazier than I could have ever anticipated. The people have been waiting on the sidelines, and then all of a sudden coach said, okay, get on that field, and everybody got on that field. And so we haven't quite expected it, and yet it's created incredible opportunities for people in our world. We've seen a lot of sellers right now who have been able to capitalize in a way that they never would have anticipated. And then just kind of waiting to see how they're going to respond. Sorry, my head keeps disappearing. Waiting to see how they're going to respond. And then it's going to open up a dialogue and a conversation around their home. So I have not gone back to my bold script of who do you know looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. It goes back to the script of who do you know that may need help right now? Who do you know that's struggling with a job? Who do you know that we might be able to serve? And it's served us well up to this point, and it's how we're going to continue to do it.
Great. Kenya, what is your dialogue with your sphere?
Same thing. I mean, I am really big on seeing how people are doing. And I think that people can feel your authenticity, while you're making these care calls, because that is important. We are in a different time. So I think doing the care calls first. However, we're all in business, right? And so I'm really practicing on asking questions. And so ultimately, I want my question cup to be filled more than a statement cup, because when you make a statement, you're not really finding out about that particular seller. So I am really, doing a lot of work on me and practicing and asking more questions, because within that, when you ask the questions that you need to ask, so it could just be simple. Have you considered making a move this year? I'm quiet, and then I let them speak. Well, you know what, Kenya? As a matter of fact, yes, I just don't know how to go about that, especially during this COVID time. So I think it's really key to find questions that will also make that seller think. I think it's for us to create a vision. If we create a vision for our clients of why they should do something, I think it helps them move forward too, So there's so many different things that you can do, but I think that finding 4 or 5 questions that you can ask your seller and then creating that vision too behind it, I think that I feel that you'll find some great success in having sellers truly get off the fence and want to move forward.
Thank you so much. Johunna, what are you saying in your calls?
My first question is typically, how are you? How are you doing? How's your family? Just peering into people's lives, not being too intrusive, of course, but just asking people how they're doing has been the biggest conversation starter as far as talking about real estate, and it is a natural question to ask. Once you ask them how they're doing, they ask you how you're doing. But it also depends on who I'm talking to. If I'm talking to somebody outside my sphere, then the question is still, how are you doing? However, if I'm doing any kind of circle prospecting and and I do have a buyer for that neighborhood, it is, hey, I know it's a crazy time right now, but I'm looking for looking for a house for my buyer, and I know this is a crazy time, and maybe it's maybe not appropriate to ask you right now, but do you know of anyone in your neighborhood that's looking to sell? And they're very appreciative of the fact that I even asked how they were doing before I asked for the business. But like everybody else has said, it's simply about being authentic. People know when you're being fake, for sure.
If anybody has any questions for our panel, you can put it in the chat. I've been looking at it while we've moved through this. I appreciate all of your time. If anybody has any questions that they want to throw to me after, you can always email me at doryhicks@kw.com, and I can connect you with either Rachel, James, Kenya, Johunna, or Karen. Karen left to go to see Yellowstone, so we appreciate her time coming in when she's on vacation. And we appreciate you all, and I want you to know that our agents on the panel speak extremely eloquently, and they're very passionate about this. And yeah, I kind of always go back to James being a wonderful communicator and Bold coach. You will learn those scripts if you go to Bold Pivot. Like, he didn't know them when he first started in real estate, correct, Rachel? He didn't know them when he first started in real estate. However, he is a learner. Right? He is a student of the business. And in order to be as successful and fluent in your conversation as our panelists, you need the experience of those that are more successful than you, right? Be in the room, be the dumbest one in the room, because you'll grow. And so we appreciate you all. We appreciate the panel. We know we call on you often, and we're always going to people that can pour back into the agents. So we thank you so much. And Andia, we welcome you to the tribe of Keller Williams Peachtree Road. And everybody, we hope you go out and make it a wonderful week, and we will chat with you soon.
Thank you, team. Appreciate y'all.
Bye. Thank you,
Welcome
guys.
to the family, Andia.